start with a moment of silence out of respect to our colleague, the journalist from Mali, who lost his life in bed. Just a moment of silence and respect. And pray as well. Thank you very much. Now we start all our meetings in here with the prayer. Every single one of the meetings. I know the first one is we don't have the culture of prayer as if not. I have the privilege of growing up in a multi-religious environment, and religion plays an important role, not just in our beliefs, but also in values, in ethics, in integrity, and that usually translates into governance and respect. So I'll make a few brief remarks, and then before I go, say that yesterday we donated $500,000. Again, it's not about the money. It's about the respect and recognition of the important role that religion plays in the lives of all of us, all our religions. And so we made, and we did the same thing in Cameroon. So we've got a policy that whenever there's an AFCON, the Lmotsebi Foundation, the Family Foundation, makes a humble donation to the religious organizations in those countries. So we made a donation to our Christian Catholic faith as well as our Christian faith in Cameroon, and we did the same in Côte d'Ivoire, and because of Mohammed and privileged to do the same yesterday. Of course, we are about football is what we're excited about, but we also recognize that the best football in the world is in an environment where people respect each other, and economic growth, and investment in infrastructure, facilities, stadiums, football pitches, schools, football, and a growing economy. We've also said that religion unites our people, religious, ethnic, and racial backgrounds. Let's go to the football. And what is important for me is not just to come and tell you what our assessment is, but also to hear from you what your assessment is, including your criticism, because sometimes in my upbringing, the most important thing is to listen to perceived areas of weakness, perceived areas of failure. It's an important opportunity to learn, and it contributes to all of us becoming better. And our objective is very clear. African football must be amongst the best in the world, the most successful. It starts on the field of play. We have to win in Africa, and we have to win at the highest level in the world. So what particularly also excites me about this AFCON is its preparation for our national teams, so that we represent us in the World Cup. So, in life, people respect you on results. They don't come and talk about your plans, your strategies, and how beautiful it is, the football in Africa is. What are the fans saying? Because the fans will not watch African football if it is not exciting and attractive. So I'm so proud of the work that every one of the 54 member associations that are members of CAF and who represent 54 countries on the African continent. We've made good progress. But we set very high standards for ourselves, very high standards. And we take motivation from the accessible, quantifiable successes, but we're very clear that there is still significant progress to be made, there's still work to be done. We want to be as good as the best. So I was watching the match between Nigeria. In fact, I watched, part of my plan was to watch every nation. So I'm happy that every one of the 24 nations that came for the AFCON, I had the honor and the privilege of watching every single one of them. And but it's also a learning experience for me, because to see how the referees are officiating. And again, you know, I had a meeting with the referees before the match, before the AFCON, and I said, "Oh, guys, listen, we've got so much confidence in your quality, in your integrity, in your credibility, in your ethics, but the test is not what the president thinks. The test is not what CAF thinks. The test is what those judges of and we get rid of the best technical explanation. It was not hand to ball, it was foot to water, or even, I don't want to say toe, knee to hand. It's a penalty. And I want to say to you what I said yesterday to all the 54 presidents of the 54 African countries. Under no circumstances will any single country in Africa be treated better, more preferential than any other country. It's never going to happen. God lost our president. Every single one of the 54 countries in Africa are going to be treated with all the respect, all the dignity, and all the recognition they deserve. And that's what our commitment is, but of course we've got to listen. And when people say, but you know, why is it that the referees seem to have the VAR operators and this country called, I can't call it Tanzania, Afro-Europe or Afro-Asia, it's the 54th country. So I'm very happy that and we can't be oblivious to what the podcasts and the media is saying, because I watch TV as well. So when the commentators say, that's not a red card, or why did it not go to VAR, or why was there not a penalty? Our credibility depends on what ordinary football supporters and fans in Africa and Europe, and we will consistently improve, train, and make sure that the referees, the VAR operators, and the match commissioners are world class. This has indeed been the most successful camp, the single most successful camp in the history of this competition. And the question is, Mr. President, why you say number one? The quality of football is important. It's not so important. Let me say it's more important what some of the best coaches, the best football analysts, the legends are saying about the quality of football. Remember, we will only succeed if our football is exciting and people are paying to watch it. And I'm very excited. Barney came. I wasn't sure whether he was wearing Morocco, and I said, you know, because your father is from Cameroon, and your mother is from Algeria, beautiful. And then Morocco played Cameroon in a complicated thing. But we're excited. Zizou, beautiful. Conde, Chouameni, and various other players, so proud. and to come and support the best players in Africa that we have competing. So the quality of football was lost. The quality of the stadiums, the infrastructure, the facilities, world class. And of course, my duty is to rotate. I want every one of the zones, the regions, the 5 zones. I want every one of them to get an opportunity to host the top competitions in Africa. But what is not negotiable is your football pitch must be world class. The infrastructure must, and look how I mean, I took away. The CHAN was supposed to take place in February in Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda as a test wave, and we moved it to August because we want to give them an opportunity to spend more money, but also with the next upcoming money next year. So I'm very proud of what they've done. So the facilities, and that's why it's appropriate on behalf of the 54 nations whose member associations are members of CAP to really express our deep gratitude to His Majesty Imam the Sixth Before System, express our gratitude to the government, the people of Morocco, and of course always be proud of the work that my brother Southeast people. I call it Fauzi, some people say Susie, and the warmth with which they've been received by ordinary Moroccans, it's beautiful. And then my Moroccan friends say, that's part of our culture, that's part of our history. Beautiful, beautiful. I saw the flag of Morocco next, side by side with the flag of Algeria. For me, it makes me proud. I'm happy because we want all our people to be together. We want all Africans to be together. I saw the president of football in the DRC and the president of football from Rwanda together having a wonderful time. Beautiful. That's what we're all about, to bring all our people together. And where there are challenges, we will humbly use football to unite. And this unity, of course, is unity in the continent, but it's also a commitment to unity with Europe, with America, with Asia, with South America. On Monday morning at 2 o'clock, I'll be flying, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'll be flying to Davos for the World Economic Forum, and there's 70 heads of state, and it's part of flag, and of course, we're going to talk a little bit about the World Cup in America. Gianni will be there as well. Gianni arrived and our people are brothers. So that's beautiful. But of course, we're talking about how do we bring the world together? How do we encourage more trade, more partnership in the world that is becoming increasingly divided? So, and then just finally, because there's let's talk about the AFCON every 4 years. Now, let me explain. I hear somebody smiling, but you know, a smile sometimes can be a loud smile. Let me show you. I'm clear now. I have to be in a much better situation in this new dispensation than I was in the previous. And the numbers and the figures don't lie, and the facts don't lie. Because I can have my own interpretation and say it's wonderful, it's good, but if the facts and the numbers and the data doesn't support it, then it's incorrect. So what's going to happen? We only have one competition that really makes money. I want the competition every year, every year, every year. At this stage, with the exception of the year when there's a World Cup, and also looking at that, even have a competition with that year. Now, the AFCON is about, it used to be 20 nations and we increased it to 24. every year, I'm going to have 54 nations in Africa, not 24, like in Africa, 54. 54. And unlike what happened in the past, I'm going to have the best African players who play in Europe. We are proud of them. The best African players who play in America, Asia, in South America. They're going to be part of this competition every year in Africa. Now, how much do I pay for the outcome? I think that I paid the first price was maybe 4 million or something, 4 million, and I immediately increased it to 5. I don't know where the 5 was going to come because we owed $150 million at the time. And then increased it again to 7 or good enough, and increased it again to 10. And I'm excited because some of those players, not the ones who play in Europe, the ones in Africa, if they get significant money, some of that money goes into that pocket. And that's what we want. Is to make sure that in every sense the African nation league competes with Africa. I don't want one fishing rod to try and catch fish in the sea. I want the African fishing rod was once every 2 years. I'm going to have a fishing rod every year. And part of what we want to do is we've got to make the African Nations League at the minimum as exciting and better still, even more exciting than the outcome. And the judge of that is not the president of CAF, it's not CAF. It's the fans. It's you in the media. And we have to listen to you. Whether we agree or disagree, well. And sometimes what's even more important is when you criticize us. It's a learning opportunity. So we currently pay 10 million, and I shouldn't say this, so if you promise not to write about it, keep it to yourself, I'll say briefly, my aim is to get 10 million first prize for the African Nations League. Where am I going to get the money from? I'm fighting. So I've got 10 million there, and make sure that the African Nations League competes in every sense with AFCON. But of course, AFCON there's a sentimental. It's like this grandmother who brought you up when your mother was working. You have a special place in your heart, always a special place. But you can't tell a grandmother where to work in Toyota. I love Toyota. Where you can take her to work in a BMW or a Mercedes. I mean, then whatever nice car. We have to improve all the time, become better, more competitive. And we have to listen to our sponsors. And of course, we've got to listen to our fans. And we also have to listen to the media. So I'm excited. There's a lot of work that still needs to be done. Part of my job is, when I'm not president of CAF, because every leader, there's a time to go and there's a time to leave. So part of my job is the president who takes over from me must find the foundation and the leadership that they can continue the good work that we've done together. No organization succeeds because of an individual or because of a president. It doesn't exist. We've got 18,000 employees in the mining companies where we are. And we are the 80,000 employees every day go to work. And we succeed not because of people, because of all of these people. We've got to look after them, motivate them. And there's another 33,000 in the financial services companies where we are. So in everything we do, we succeed because of the people we have the privilege to work with. And I'm very honored that I've had the privilege to work with some good people And as I said, my job is to make sure that, a few years down the line, when I'm not president of CAF and I look at the leadership, and they should say, together we've laid a good foundation, and they must continue. Where's all that money going? And that money has to go to where it's supposed to go. Young boys and girls, academies. We donated $10 million from the Montserrat Foundation for schools football in Africa. Get schools football going. There's about 100,000 schools that participate. We're going to have millions of young nationals playing in these competitions. So, and of course, ethics, governance, integrity. I have to make sure that the sponsors are convinced that every cent that this organization makes goes where it's supposed to go. Our member associations. And of course, and we have to stop employing people at CAF who are there because it's a job. They must be there because they are well paid, well appreciated, and we want the best and the smartest. And I'm always disappointed when an employee comes and says, I enjoy this my own job, but I was offered more money by your competition. So I'm also proud that we've significantly increased the salaries of the staff, and there's an important I'm not going to repeat the price now, of course, it's a rugby issue. Women's football, very, very I can say all the wonderful things. It really means nothing on the ground. There isn't quantifiable, accessible success. We spend a lot of money on women's football. It's coming up. I'm so proud. And it will keep growing. So I just want to conclude by saying that I want to thank the media. I forgot your name. In Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, and ever since. We have a duty, my duty is to Africa. It starts there. But my second duty is I can only promote Africa if in those areas where we have to work together with the world, with Europe, with America, with Asia, with South America. In those areas, we have to work together. The success of football in Europe is good. I want Europe, I want America, I want Asia, I want that football in those countries to keep growing. This is the spirit of us all together to university here in Morocco. 48 African countries have got students at the university. Beautiful. Beautiful. 88 countries from outside worldwide. So there's another 40 countries that have got students. We are part of a world where we have to work together. Our growth is the growth of all of us together. Which might come back later. I said, thank His Majesty King Mohammed VI for God assisting and thank the government and thank our.
للمزيد من المعلومات ما تنسوش تابونا وتفعلوا الجرس باش يوصلكم جديد لو 7 تي في.